But first, another blow to Haiti as it struggles to recover. A powerful 6.1 aftershock struck about 2 hours ago. The tremor, which was felt across Haiti, was the strongest since the earthquake 8 days ago. Our Anderson Cooper is live in Port-au-Prince this morning, and must have been a frightening feeling for everyone there. We understand that a lot of members of the CNN crew ran out of the hotel as quickly as they could.
Yeah, it was obviously a surprise to a lot of us. I mean, we've had aftershocks, although I feel like for the last couple of days we really haven't had any, or certainly nothing very significant. You know, you could feel the place that we're staying in literally just kind of swaying. A lot of us just kind of ran into doorways, and you know, there's not much you can do. You just kind of, you know, try to sense whether or not you should run out of the building, whether you should, you know, what exactly you should do. There's always concern, you know, you can run into something as much as you can run away from something. You can run into, you know, a piece of falling debris as much as you can, you know, run away from something that's falling. So I basically just stood in a doorway. But, you know, it's the last thing people here in Port-au-Prince need anytime there's an aftershock like this, especially something on that scale, which we haven't seen. You know, people here, there's a lot of cries, there's a lot of screams. There's people just, you know, sleeping out in the streets, thousands of them, and they're very much afraid that, you know, debris will fall on them. People run away from any buildings. It's a very disconcerting feeling for the residents here.
It will also be a problem for rescue workers as they try to pick through the rubble there and find people who are still alive. And Anderson, it's almost remarkable, but here we are 8 days after the initial earthquake, and survivors are still being pulled out of those collapsed buildings, and it's almost a miracle. And you were at the scene of one of those yesterday near the National Cathedral. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it certainly is remarkable. I almost didn't believe it when I heard it. We heard that an operation was underway at the National Cathedral. We rushed over there and witnessed about an hour after getting there, a crew from Mexico and South Africa. There was also a German crew there. They were working to try to get what they believe were 3 people trapped in the rubble of a building right next to the cathedral. A building belonged to the diocese. The Mexican team and the South African team were able to pull out this woman. Her name is Anna Zizi. She's in her 70s. She was dusty, obviously disoriented. She was extremely dehydrated. She had a number of fractures. They pulled her out. They gave her some water. The rescue workers were celebrating. I mean, it's very rare for this kind of thing to happen. 7 days, and a woman of her age with fractures. It was just extraordinary. She was praying. They took her about a block away to a nearby park where medics had set up sort of a triage unit for injured people, and there wasn't much they could do for her there. They put an IV in her. They you know, listened to her heartbeat, but she needed surgery. She needed to deal. She needed a surgeon. She needed to deal with these fractures, which in a woman her age in this condition are life-threatening. And that's the other thing here. Even when someone is rescued alive, there's not necessarily some place to take them, and the medic who was there was very concerned. He didn't know where to bring her. Some aid organizations heard about her plight. The Coast Guard, they called in the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard came in, brought a helicopter into the presidential palace. They took Anna Zizi to the USS Bataan, and then they were going to ferry her to a hospital run by this aid organization. So we don't have an update on her condition today. We'll try to get one for you later on, but it's just remarkable, John.
Yeah, Anderson, she was in terrible condition when she was pulled out of the rubble there, but also at about the same time, the Los Angeles County Urban Search and Rescue Team pulled out a woman who'd been in rubble in a different building for about the same period of time. She looked in terrific shape. She got into a car and drove away. When you talk to these rescuers, are they surprised by how well some of these people who are just being now pulled out of the rubble are doing?
You know, I went out with the Los Angeles team. They have about 75 people here, roughly, men and women, and the work they're doing is just extraordinary. I mean, these men and women are extraordinarily dedicated. They're risking their own lives to try to find other lives. And you know, it is incredible what you're seeing. You know, people can be trapped in a void space, and if they have maybe some more ventilation, that increases their odds. If they have access to food and some water, that can increase their odds. If they're younger and in good health before the incident, that can increase their odds. But you know, how do you explain a 70-year-old woman in that condition surviving this long? It's pretty incredible.
Well, yes, Anderson Cooper in Port-au-Prince this morning. Anderson, thanks so much.